Hey everyone, welcome back to Tired Old Queen at the Movies. Before we go see Steve, I just want to again thank everybody who's following us on Facebook and Twitter. We love your comments, we love your questions. I hope everybody is gearing up for the holidays. And now, Luca, let's go see Steve.
Oh, Johnny, I'm so glad to see you. Come on here. Tired Old Queen at the Movies. Johnny, I wanted to do a Tyrone Power movie, and so I chose from 1946, The Razor's Edge, starring Gene Tierney, Tyrone Power, Herbert Marshall, John Payne, Clifton Webb, and in her Academy Award-winning role as Sophie, Anne Baxter. Now, Darryl F. Zanuck had spent more money on this movie than he had any production at Fox up until that time. And it was essentially about a man who comes back from World War II and gives up everything to go to India and the Himalayas and study with the Hindus and obtain enlightenment. Hollywood enlightenment, kind of a contradiction in terms, right?
The road to salvation is difficult to pass, as difficult as the sharp edge of a razor.
Now, Tyrone had come back, and he wanted to be a serious actor. And Darryl Zanuck said, well, I got a big picture for you, Tyrone. It's going to be The Razor's Edge with Gene Tierney, and everybody's in it. And he said, well, that's all right, but if I do this, then I want you to shoot a movie called Nightmare Alley, which was about a guy who's a phony clairvoyant and ends up being a circus geek.
Yes. His name was Jip. Go on.
Now, in this movie, Ty Power plays Larry, who's the guy who comes and gets enlightenment. Gene Tierney plays his old girlfriend, Isabel, who's always been in love with him and always carried a torch. And that's the motivating thing in this movie, is her trying to get him back at any cost. She marries his close friend, Gray Maturin, and that doesn't work out. She goes, after the Depression, they're broke, and they go to stay with her uncle Elliot, played by Clifton Webb, who's always saying about Tyrone Power, Larry Darrell hasn't made a dime in his life because he's bone idle.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
Gene Tierney, keeps saying to Larry, Larry, why are you doing this? Give this all up and come and marry me. And he'll say, Isabel, I've got to find the answers.
I can't even make those I love understand what I'm after.
The answers to what, Larry? And poor Tyrone Power gets stuck with lines like, I don't know, Isabel. The dead look so dead when they're dead. But somehow, Tyrone Power pulls it off, and he makes you believe it, because he was such an honest actor.
Aren't you going to congratulate me?
I am not.
His dear friend in this movie is played by Anne Baxter. And her name is Sophie in this movie. Now, Sophie's in love with this one guy, and they have a baby. And in a terrible automobile accident, both her husband and her child are killed. She goes on the skids.
Yesterday at the Ritz was tough going.
I know, I saw it.
Did you? Did I show it?
Tyrone Power and Gene Tierney are out on the town one night, and they run into her. And she's a drunk. And she's all over the place. And Tyrone, having achieved enlightenment, decides that he wants to save her. And Gene Tierney is not having any of it. And she sabotages her. And she sets it up so she picks up a drink.
I haven't had a drink since that night in the Rue de Lap.
Must be awful.
Anne Baxter is so real in these scenes. It's you sit up. It's like a whole nother movie.
He's really good, Isabel. I was gone. Lost. Gone. This is my only chance, I know that.
Dealing with something that's so unusual for Hollywood, which was spiritualism, which is something that they never really touched that often. It's a fascinating picture, and I think you're going to love it. Tyrone Power, Gene Tierney, Clifton Webb, Herbert Marshall, and Anne Baxter in Somerset Maugham, The Razor's Edge.
Let's all go to the lobby.
No, don't print that. Tyrone Power's children today sued the tired old queen of the movies.
To get ourselves a treat.
Delicious.